Peace and love, good people. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Hopefully, I'm live. Um, Anybody in the building? Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Peace and love, good people. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Salute, salute, salute. Just setting up my little stuff here. You guys are going to have to bear with me because I do not. Uh, I am not a pro at this. Put a 9 in the chat, anybody, if you guys can hear me. I definitely appreciate it to make sure that my settings are okay. This is my first live, you guys, so please bear with me. Let me know if I'm good. Let's see who we got here. I want to see some 9s in the chat if you guys can hear me. Okay. Okay. Wow, wonderful. I'm excited. Let's see who we got. Freedom's March. Oh my goodness. Salute to you, King. Who do we? Oh my God. Trill Will. Wonderful to see you, beautiful brother. We got Demo. We got Eric O. What's up, you guys? Lovely to see you. Yes, this is my first live, you guys. Please bear with me. I'm a little nervous. So please, bear with me. But I figured that I'd start, the new year off right and try to do a live. I've been asked for, a good while when it is that I'm actually going to drag my behind on a live stream. And initially, I really didn't know how to do it, but I got some guidance from somebody that I respect in this boxing game very, very much, who kind of walked me through it and gave me the encouragement and the support, to feel confident enough that I can do it. So here I am. What's up, y'all? Happy New Year to everybody. Hope everybody is blessed and doing well. I'm definitely feeling blessed this new year and looking forward to some great things, specifically in boxing for sure, because that's what we're here for. We're here for that boxing talk. You feel me? Let me see what we got here. So pretty much, we're entering a new phase. That's pretty much what I really wanted to divulge today with you guys in real time, because I know that we've been through so much crazy stuff in boxing, y'all. And entering into a new cycle, I felt that, it was necessary to, I guess, start off the new year with some positive energy for the fight game, right? Because we love the fight game. So I was pretty pessimistic, of course, considering everything that we had been through and all the antics and the charades that have been going on. But I guess I wanted to put a good fresh foot down on the soil and claim some positive energy. And hopefully, we get to see some wonderful matchups and, actual action, taking place in 2025. So with this new cycle, I guess we managed to squeeze. It seems like things really weren't. I mean, we had some really mega fights, I guess you could say, or some really interesting things that had happened, in the boxing landscape. But it also felt kind of sparse to me as well. You know what I'm saying? Boxing year didn't really fill out a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? It didn't feel like a packed year that I'm used to, at least. It felt very sparse. We have a big bang, and then it would be a lull, a quiet, a hush over the boxing landscape. Then something else crazy would happen, or a good fight would happen, and then it's kind of silence. For the last half of the year, we really hadn't seen much action. You know what I mean? Like, compared to what we know, compared to where we have been coming from previously, really hasn't really been that thick of a year for boxing. We started off the first quarter of 2024 very slow, right? We didn't get our first fight of 24 until something like March, right? Am I mistaken or no? Like, we had to wait until March to get something kicked off. And I think that was the Keith Thurman and what was supposed to be the Tim Tszyu fight at that time. That didn't happen until March, which is crazy, So this year, at least, it's seeming, that it's going to start off on a good foot. We got Benavidez happening. Hold up, I see some people typing, y'all. Please forgive me. Like I said, this is my first time, so I got to get used to the chat. I got to get used to Who do we got in the building? Hey, Freedom's March. DP! What's up, DP? How you doing, beautiful king? Salute to my sister Tay Tay in the building. All right. You know I'm on 10 because I got my girl here. What's up, Tay? Who is also a Leo, by the way. Let's go, Leos. But, yeah, y'all. Yeah, so this year it's looking like it's going to start off really well. We got the Benavidez fight, of course, kicking off next month. We got Shakur coming back into the ring next month. So, it's seeming to take a faster pace as we enter 2025, as far as the, fights lining up and stuff. So we're already seemingly on a better foot than we were at the start of 24. That's for sure. So I'm definitely looking forward to what we have coming up for the boxing year. So we had some big fights. I think probably one of the big fights for me of 24 was, of course, the Devin and Tank fight, right? That was probably the standout, spectacle of the year, real talk. We also had the Tank and Frank fight, which was phenomenal. I was actually so surprised, as you guys have probably heard me mention in the commentary that I was doing leading up to that particular fight. I was so surprised, that Tank even took on the option to fight Frank, real talk. So the fact that he did and he won in spectacular fashion, of course, I'm Team Frank. I don't want to see, the young King Frank lose. But of course, we know who Tank Davis is. And he showed up and he showed the reason why, he is no stranger to getting people out of the ring quick, fast, and thoroughly. So it was a great job and a great performance that Tank put on. Another big fight for me was the Joshua Dubois fight. That was crazy to see Joshua get knocked out. Oh, my God. As a Joshua fan, I was like, oh, my God. But I couldn't help but to feel happy and elated for the young King Dubois, who put on a spectacular performance and who showed his resilience. Once again, just the way that he did with Usyk. Real talk, because he really won that Usyk fight. You know what I mean? But he showed valor in the Joshua fight because at a point, Joshua seemed like he was going to have him in a tight spot, but he pulled through and got the knockout victory in spectacular fashion. That was another great fight. Let me know what some of y'all fights that y'all like this year. But yeah, there was a few of them that we can go through. But like I said, it felt like the year was a little bit sparse. Oh yeah, we also saw Crawford make his debut at 54, which was a big thing for 2024 against Madrimov. Of course, a lot of people had their debates or their skepticisms about that particular fight. A lot of people weren't used to seeing Crawford be pushed to the magnitude that he was with Madrimov. But of course, he got the victory. I thought that he did more than enough to win that fight, even though I can understand the perspective that people have thinking that Madrimov actually edged that fight. But you know what I mean? It is what it is. I definitely anticipate seeing more from Crawford, but we'll get into that a little bit later about Crawford in 154 and what his plans are, as a whole. We saw the David Morel fight. He debuted at 175. We got an interesting, view of him looking kind of shaky a little bit at 175. People weren't used to seeing that. Of course, we were expecting to see. Yes, this is live, Rich Reloaded. What's up, the richest? The richest one in the building. Salute to you, beautiful king. Yeah, so we had some pretty good matchups. I thought that, wasn't it interesting, you guys? Like the fact that the three men, Bud, David Benavidez, and David Morel, all made their, their debuts at the next weight class above them. And all three of them kind of had, I guess, comparatively speaking, lackluster performances, if you will. I thought that was an interesting thing that each man moved up one division, and the performances weren't as dominant as we would have expected it to. That was an interesting thing to see. What else happened? Oh yeah, we heard the damn Canelo unabashedly make his fear of Benavidez known to the world, basically in 2024. Basically saying, "Listen, y'all got to pay me $100 million or better for me to fight that man." And that was great. And how wild was it that even moreover, people didn't really hold Canelo to the stake for saying something like that in 2024. I mean, you had the real ones out here like, BF and Drew and all the real ones out here who are doing this, that spoke about that. But, overall, he was, as usual, cosseted by the boxing world. Nobody really held him to the stake Like all of these people out here that got smoke for people who do way less things or nothing at all to garner any type of hate, they quick to give it to them. But when Canelo say some sucker shit, like, oh, I'm not fighting Benavidez, all he brings is 20 extra pounds to the table. Nobody is really, you know what I mean, giving him that smoke for saying some nonsense like that. But either way, it was what it was. 2024 also, you guys, brought EJ out and into the public again. Of course, after suffering his defeat to Bud, we got to see EJ back, and he was claiming space in the ring with Fundora. That was an interesting part and portion of 2024. I'm looking forward to EJ coming back into the ring. Let's see, what else? Yes, 2024 had some pivotal moments, even though they seemed few and far between. Like in retrospect, when we reflect on those things, there were some pretty significant takeaways, I guess, from the year. But for me, the biggest takeaway is if we are going to stay away from repeating a lot of the inactivity. Of course, a lot of fighters have been, out of the ring or had fought once in 2024, Tank being one of them. So hopefully the inactivity is abated and put to rest in 25 and onward. I'd like to see much more activity from these fighters. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that inactivity was too much for me. What else we got going on? Yeah, 24 had left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm not even gonna front. Like I'm sitting here reflecting on it like, damn. I don't want to see none of that nonsense be repeated in 2025. It seems like we have more drama out of the ring than within the ring. Am I the only one that thinks that? It seems like we had a lot more drama outside of the ring. We had people typing on Twitter like gangsters, baby. What? All the smoke was on the keypad, like typing away. And none of that shit was translated to the ring. Hopefully we don't, see that repeated either. Speaking of which, the keyboard kings of 2024 was definitely Shakur Stevenson. And at a particular point, it was Tank Davis before he, of course, faded to black after he fought Frank Martin. So I'm wondering if we will get... Let me know this, you guys. Since I know I got my real ones in here, all my good people, we talk about this all the time, whether we're in BF's chat or wherever you guys are in my comments or wherever we meet up and get to talk some boxing. Do you guys think that Tank and Core for 2025, do you guys think that we will actually get this fight between Tank and Shakur? Let me know. Because it's definitely a fight that I want. It's definitely the fight for me at 135. Like, there is no bigger fight to me at 135. But I can't help but be pessimistic that that's something that just will not materialize. Am I the only one that's like, am I being pessimistic, or is that something that you guys feel as well? I don't know. I can't help but to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out as far as these two men, meeting and colliding. Let's see what the chat is saying on that. No. King Bonnie says nope. Eric O says nope. Demo says hails to the no. I feel you. It's just, it's hard to imagine, even though it's so highly anticipated, these people are acting like it's easy and worthy to bypass. Like they're not treating it with the same severity as the diehards like us. Like, I don't know why they're being so passé, if you will, about materializing the fight, solidifying this actual fight. I'd like to be hopeful because as a boxing fan, y'all know I don't play with my boxing. I love my boxing. And of course, I'm going to put the passion first. I'm going to always walk with fire first. I'm going to have fire for, within my optimism. I'm going to have fire for the fighters that I back. But I can't help but to reserve some of my heat because, this particular fight between these two men have been stalling, for so long that it just feels like, I don't know what to think. I think I'm going to hold my final judgment on that so that I'm not, committed to seeing the fight. And then if the fight doesn't materialize, I won't be heartbroken. You know what I mean? Because it's like if I get too invested, it'll just make me hella upset, Speaking of 135, as a whole, what is going on with that division, y'all? You know what I mean? Are any unifications going to be happening at 135, you guys? Why is there such a stalemate at 135? No unifications have happened in that division ever since Devin dropped those belts. What is everybody doing? What is everybody doing? Are they painting? Are they sipping lemonade? Okay. Are they out buying new purses? What's happening in the 135 division, y'all? I need some unifications popping. Where are these champions at? You know what I mean? I don't know. I really don't know. I sit and I think about them like, why have things been so stale there? It does not make sense to me. I know that Tank was trying to call out Lomachenko. Of course, we can't bypass the fact that Lomachenko straight up ducked Tank Davis or whatever have you. Contemplating retirement, all of that we've heard. But, I still don't find that to be cause for Tank Davis to go down a division and pull up a 130 pounder. You know what I'm saying? Like, and also, I don't know if I'm the only one that, I haven't heard really anybody really speak about this thoroughly, but I really don't know why Keyshawn Davis, respect to the young king, I rocks with Keyshawn, okay? And I think that he showed, a really dominant performance in his last fight, but I don't see how he can be getting the head of Baranchik before Tank Davis. Like, that's only possible because that means that's only possible because Tank Davis passed the opportunity. I'm not sure if the Baranchik Keyshawn Davis fight was already, in talks or whatever that was going on under the scenes. But shouldn't Tank be offered the champion, the next champion available, next to him at 135? I don't get it. I really don't get that. I respect the Keyshawn, sticking his neck out and making sure that he gets the opportunity to have a first title, fight or whatever, to fight for a belt for the first time. I respect the young king for taking, the initiative and aligning with that. But I just find it, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just tripping. Let me know what y'all think about that. Of course, I want him to get the opportunities because he's a worthy fighter and I want to see him on the stage where he could further display his talents and, reach those higher levels so that he can stand, head to head with the elite. If Loma comes back, he could stand, next to him. Of course, he could stand shoulder to shoulder with Tank. I want to see him be on a platform and have the availability to stand and show and prove, next to the higher ups in his weight class. But at the same time, I feel like Baranchik should have been the option for Tank, considering that Tank is 135 and Baranchik is a champion. I don't know if that's just me, but 135 definitely needs unifications popping. If Tank would have fought Baranchik, that would have been a unification right there. That's what's needed in the division. Like, I get the matchups and stuff like that. It's just too spread out for me. I think that what's lacking at 135 is the non-prioritizing of the unifications. I do not get it. I don't get it. Yeah, let's see what the chat's saying. Let me check on my people them. Salute everybody in the building. Oh my God, I was not expecting anybody to show up today. And the fact that I see people typing in the comments is definitely warming your girl's heart. So I appreciate you guys. Hey, Kano. How you doing, King? If you want to see the best fight the best, watch UFC. That's how you feel, Rich? Damn, you giving up on boxing? Say it ain't so, Rich. Not UFC. You know what? I can't say that I'm like really fully immersed in the UFC, but I do like Israel Adesanya. I like him. And of course, John Jones. Those are some beautiful brothers. I rock with them. Let's see. You said, so Mars, can we expect daily lives? Daily? I don't know about that, Rich, but we'll see what happens. You guys are lucky to get me on here today. I'm telling you, I was so nervous because I felt like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm so busy watching the pros like BFTB and Champside. And so I don't know. I'm so used to watching them and their mastery that I don't know. I felt like maybe I need to take a back seat or whatever as far as the lives. But like I said, I got some encouragement behind the scenes and, it gave me the courage to come on today and start the new year off right. So you never know. I don't know if they'll be daily, but I'll definitely be doing them a little bit more frequently than not, because usually I'll just post my little stuff and call it a day. But yeah, I'm feeling this out, and I like the live interaction with you guys. It's nice to see you. Hey, Intelligent Savage. That's my brother. Salute to the king, the intelligent one in the building. Yes, indeed, you guys. Oh my goodness, we got J Pitt City up in here. Jason Allen? Hold up. Hold up, y'all. The king Jason is in the building? You guys, I'm blushing. I'm literally blushing, y'all. Thank you. Thank you, guys. But yeah, let's see what else we got. Yeah, so Keyshawn, like I was saying, I'm ready for the king to prove himself. I'm not sure. Did they announce the date for that Baron chick? They just announced the fight, right? Not when it's going to actually take place, right? Yeah, I don't remember hearing anything about a solidified date. But of course, we'll see what happens with that. Either way, I think he's definitely ready to show and prove on a grander stage, and I can't front that the Baron chick opportunity. I mean, you can't get better than a champion. That's the goal of this whole thing. So, we'll see. I think that he stands to shake a lot of things up. If he beats Baron chick and he claims a belt, that'll definitely put him in line to, fight Tank, and if Loma comes back, to fight him as well. But what would that say about Shakur Stevenson? Wouldn't he then have to fight Shakur? If Shakur's goal is undisputed, has he made his what do you call it, intentions known? Does he want to become undisputed? I believe I heard him say that at a particular time, that was something that he would like to do. So if that's the case, wouldn't that mean that he would have to fight the man that he said he would never fight if Keyshawn grabs the strap off of Baron chick's waist? Am I tripping or no? Wouldn't he have to get in the damn ring with that man? So all of this, I'm not fighting my brother nonsense, gonna have to go out the window if Shakur was, on some real shit saying, yeah, I want to be undisputed. He can't be undisputed without going through Keyshawn if Keyshawn get this strap. So what's popping? I don't want to hear no, that's my brother stuff. Either that, or you're going to have to take your ass up and haul ass to 140, Shakur Stevenson, if that isn't your intention on fighting. You're going to have to move up to 140 if you have no intention on becoming undisputed at 35. So I don't know what Keyshawn's intentions are. I'm sorry, Shakur's intentions are. Keyshawn is seemingly on smoke time. I never heard him say anything about undisputed, but obviously if he's fighting Baron chick, he's saying that it's strap season. He's trying to claim space. So I don't know. 135 is definitely up in the air. I'm interested in seeing what these young brothers are going to do. I'm definitely interested in seeing what these young brothers are going to do. Intelligence says, believe so. So Shakur has to get moving here. Exactly, King. Exactly. He has to get moving. He has to get moving. Either you're going to have to, piss or get off the pot, as the saying goes. You're going to have to put the brotherly love aside, and claim some turf. Or haul ass and move up to the next division so that you could avoid the collision. The Charlos have done it for I don't know how many years in order to, evade each other and avoid having to compete each other. You got Big Charlo that steps up, that rules the division above Mel. That's how they manage and balance that energy and having to avoid the fighting of each other. So is Shakur going to do the same thing if he's that serious and dead set on not fighting Keyshawn? It's an interesting conversation. And I think that it's definitely time for Shakur, especially in this new year that we are in now. I think it's prime time for him to really clearly state to his supporters and to the boxing community as a whole, what his intentions are. Is it undisputed at 135? Because real talk, if you're not really trying to go for the gold, why are you in the division? Why are you in the division? You should move up if you're not trying to, claim all the rewards of the division that you're in. You're just wasting time, or just like it's looking like a hobby. You know what I mean? I don't like that. Freedom's March says, Keyshawn Keyshawn is on the right track. Sorry, let me make my screen brighter, you guys. I cannot see what I'm doing here. Keyshawn is on the right track. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's definitely on the right track. Definitely on the right track, fighting a champion. You know, he's trying to make his mark early. You know what I'm saying? His last performance definitely put him to the forefront of a lot of people's dialogue in a way that he had never been previously. So yes, he is definitely on the right track, King Freedom. Definitely on the right track. The Kaji, what's up, beautiful king? He says, already best female boxing stream. Please don't make me blush, King. Oh my goodness. I appreciate that. I'm working on it. We'll see what happens. But I appreciate the compliment. The King Kano says, the more you go live, the better you will get. That's how I felt comfortable. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to, try to keep it consistent. As consistent as possible. Of course, the more I do it, like you said, the better I will get. I have no doubt about that. Devontae F, hello, how are you? He says, might move up sooner than later. You talking about Shakur, King? You talking about Shakur? Might move up sooner than later? J Pitt City said, we got you, ma'am. I appreciate you, King. I really do. All of y'all. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know what y'all think. Do y'all want to see, do you guys think that Keyshawn, is on the right path? And do you think that Shakur is aiming, like real talk, like really aiming to dominate and claim the 135 division? And if he is, do you guys think that he will fight Keyshawn in order to achieve his goal of undisputed, if undisputed is really what he wants? Let me know in the chat. Y'all think Shakur is on demon time? Is he going to be undisputed at 135? I'd love to know your thoughts about that, because I think it's a really great question that I don't hear too many people talking about. I don't hear the specifics about people positing their own queries as to what Shakur Stevenson's goal is. Okay. We always talk about Shakur Stevenson in reference to Tank Davis, of course, because we want to see the fight. So that's where we put the weight on. We put the weight on, is he going to fight Tank? Is he going to fight Tank? Which I get, because that is the fight to make at 135. But it's like, I also want to hear people and see people adding pressure to Keyshawn to saying, listen, okay, you got does that mean you want to be undisputed? Because not only could you say, if you actually step up to the plate to fight Tank Davis and that fight does materialize, not only do you get to say that you have taken on the challenge of fighting Tank Davis, let alone, let's say, if he actually beats Tank Davis, but if he also adds on to that esteem, the fact that he would become undisputed, imagine how significant that would be for Shakur Stevenson. Like, y'all feel me? Imagine the weight of that. Imagine the statement that Shakur Stevenson would make. You know? I don't hear him talk about undisputed enough. I think it's one thing to fight Tank Davis and dethrone him. It's it would be a huge accomplishment. But to also then add on to that an undisputed, you know what I'm saying, stature? Jeez, you guys. That would be something. Same thing goes for Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? You just change the position of the names. If Tank Davis actually took on, the possibility of getting in the ring and actually materializing the fight with Shakur Stevenson and actually beats Shakur Stevenson, and on top of that, if he can be undisputed, you guys, that's beautiful boxing. That's the boxing that I love, and that's the boxing that I support. I want these people to be on demon time. I want them to be on demon time. I want them to go out and try to achieve all of the things that there is to achieve as a fighter. I want to see them apply the pressure to get that. Because we've been hearing for far too long, oh, I'm the king of this, I'm the face of this, I'm the number one, I'm the top dog, I'm the lion, I'm the man on the mountain. But none of these motherfuckers out here proving it. They're not proving it. That's the part that gets me tight. Real talk. That's why I be smoking on these people when I'm talking, because it's like, yo, I hear you doing all that bopping your gums. Y'all here talking and yakking. Where's the work? Where's the work? How can you be talking all this hot shit and none of y'all unified at 135 yet? The math ain't mathing. Somebody need to unify something in order to set in motion, the pathway to get to undisputed. One minute these people saying belts don't matter, and as soon as Devin Haney does the, impossible feat at 135, does it, drops the belts, moves up and becomes a champion elsewhere. The King Devin set the standard all the time, just like I told Bill Haney. The beautiful King BFTB allowed me to get on the panel that particular day, and I got to tell Bill Haney, which was a blessing, that Devin sets the standard. He did that at 135, and he moved on to bigger and better things. When he was doing it, though, everybody was saying, oh, the belts don't matter. Belts don't matter. Oh, really? They don't matter? So why you motherfuckers running after the belts like roaches now? Like, the crumbs is out, and y'all spreading around like a bunch of roaches trying to get the very thing you said didn't have no value when Devin was out here stepping on people's necks. Am I tripping or no, y'all? Put some nines in the chat if you feel me. Put some nines in the chat. 9 is the number of Mars. Y'all feel me? All of a sudden, the belts matter now. It's wild to me. But yeah, I want to see these young brothers, step up and, claim space and claim territory. I want to see them out here, being the best. I support my brothers, my beautiful black kings. That's who I ride with. That's who I stand beside at all times. Okay? That's who I support. So when I see greatness within the young brothers, I'm going to put my support there. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to call you out. You know what I mean? Or at least, look to straighten your collar if I see it a little lopsided. You know what I mean? I'm going to correct you. I'm going to try to give you the guiding words and hope that impassions you and inflames you to step forward like a king. You feel me? I want to see kingship from these young brothers. I love the fight game, and I love watching these young brothers develop and, claim territory and claim turf, because I know that on a regular day, so much is against y'all, beautiful black brothers. And I'm talking about fighters. I'm talking about y'all. I'm talking about all of us. So much is stacked against us on a regular basis. So when we have a space to create our own and shine and express that passion, I'm going to support that. I'm going to stand and claim space with y'all. So these brothers, it's bigger than boxing. We always hear that. But for us, for our people, it's bigger than everything. So wherever we stand in, whether we the mailman, whether we the boxer, whether we the hottest rapper, whether we the, best teacher, we got to claim space where we at. And we got to do it on our terms. And we got to show greatness and show heart for ourselves and for the people that support us. So that's why I go hard on these young kings. This has nothing to do with hate. I just want to see them, step up and solidify their place just the way all the beautiful kings before them did in the sport. You know what I mean? Let's see what we got here in the chat. Jay Pitt said, nah, you ain't tripping. I feel you. Yeah, Jay Pitt, that's why Devin is my face of boxing as well. If I was to pick anybody, you know what I'm saying? Devin is definitely up there. Real talk, I would actually say, of course, it's kind of always hard to single out, but I would say Devin is definitely number one. But for me, I was thinking multiples or whatever. So I would say right now, David Benavidez, for that very reason, is one of my faces of boxing right now. Yo, Benavidez is fighting. Do you guys understand this? David Benavidez, I'm not sure if you guys peeped the video that I did on the Davids, but, he's fighting the biggest name with the heaviest attraction that the fans have been calling for outside of Canelo, which is David Morel. That's who the fans have been positing, David should fight for I don't know how long now. And he is fighting that person, the biggest name second only to that of Canelo. The fact that David Benavidez is taking that on, I can't tell you how crazy that drives me as a boxing fan. David has rocked my damn world, y'all. What? David is like, I give so much props to David Benavidez. That's why he's one of my favorite young fighters right now, because he is on smoke time. On smoke time. The catchy says, I'm going for Morel. I feel you. Morel was definitely, he's one of my favorite fighters too. And that's what makes this fight so beautiful for me, is that, you know, the warriorship is absolutely unquestionable between these two men. We already know what time the Mexican monster is on. And David Morel has showed and proved with the level of competition that he's faced. The only thing that, of course, people would probably have as criticism is that Morel, of course, hasn't fought to the capacity as far as, opponent as Benavidez. But as far as his warriorship, his heart, you cannot question Morel on that. You cannot question Morel on that. Morel is coming with his swords sharpened. You feel me? He's coming with that smoke. And that's what makes this fight so, so wonderful for me. So I'd say David Benavidez is also my face of boxing as well right now, for sure. For sure. It's definitely not Tank Davis. That's for damn sure. What? Nah. Tank is definitely a top gunner, of mine. He just dropped a few tears on my thing, but he's definitely still one of my favorite fighters. But, he hasn't been showing face of boxing activity for a little while. So he's on timeout in my book. You said, and he's doing it consistently? Eric O, who's doing it consistently? Jay Pitt City says, I don't know, Morel wasn't all that his last fight. Yeah, I spoke about that. I was saying how it was interesting that David Morel, David Benavidez, and Terrence Crawford all moved up and made their debut at the higher weight class, at the division right up above them. And all three of them, upon making their debut at the division above them, all kind of had considerably lackluster performances, compared to that of the previous fights we've seen them in. You know what I mean? People had questions, so I thought that was interesting. That with their debuts at the higher weight class came, questionable performances. Not that they were bad. I would say particularly for Crawford. I don't think Crawford had a bad performance at all, but I do recall that people had some questions about that, and people said that it was cutting it close, or some people actually had Madrimov winning, and the same thing for Morel and David in their debut fights at 75. Jason Allen says, I say if Loma can get a shot early, why can't Morel? You ain't never lied, Jason. Okay? Didn't Loma get his first title defense in his, second fight? Okay, I feel you. I absolutely feel you. So there goes that theory for anybody saying, oh, well, Morel's not ready. You're absolutely right, King Jason. 1,000%. Jay Pitt said, both these guys were 168 interim champs, and Canelo ducked both to fight Berlanga and Mugia. That resume aging like cottage cheese. Jay Pitt, you on fire tonight, boy, with the facts. Yes, indeed. He ducked them, and that resume is certainly aging like cottage cheese. At least for his, most recent fights, because Canelo is a little bit of an enigma, because of course we know that, for the first half of his career, in his heyday, in his prime and stuff like that, he has fought some really, really heavy comp. He got the Cotto, of course he got the Mayweather. We can't talk about Canelo without talking about Mayweather, because Mayweather effectively made, the Canelo that we see today. He's fought a lot of stiff competition, but he, at the same time, he still waves the banner for, the biggest duck in, this era of boxing. So he simultaneously holds, a little seat of reverence, of course, for his past work, but this latter half of his career, baby, he is the poster child for duckery. Look that shit up in the dictionary, and Canelo's picture should be right there with him saying, pay they. Okay? The duckery is out of control. Diabolical level of duckery. All right? Inexcusable. Inexcusable. Let's see. Freedom's March. The King says, I think Madrimal beat Canelo. Beat Crawford. Yeah, a lot of people felt that way. I saw a significant amount of people, across social media share that. I think BF shared that view as well. Yeah, it's a few people who felt, Madrimov kind of edged it. I gave it to Crawford. Real talk. I think Madrimov was effective with his feinting, but as far as like the shots, I didn't really see where he did more heavy work than Crawford. Crawford was landing them things. He was letting them things go, baby. You know what I mean? Madrimov was effective at confusing, I think, Crawford, in the, first, let's say 4 to 5 rounds. But Bud, like he always does, he figures out, he can see clearly. I don't know, that man got some laser vision when it comes to the people that's in front of him. He could just kind of analyze you for a little bit and kind of decode, what's going on. So I kind of edged that one to Crawford, but it was definitely a good fight. And salute to Madrimov, for not coming in on any type of familiar, tactics. He kind of switched it up and came in at an angle that I don't think anybody was expecting him to, which is what I think caught a lot of people off guard. The Keji says, Sugar, how you get into boxing? First fight you remember watching? Oh, the first fight. Oh my God. You mean the first fight? Or like the first fight that I was hype about? So the first fight that I remember literally watching was Mike Tyson when I was a kid. My sister, she actually put me on to boxing class. Her and her girlfriends and, their boyfriends at the time, they lived upstairs in the apartment upstairs from us and from me and my mom. And she would have, we would go up and spend time with my sis upstairs and stuff like that. And, she would invite all her friends upstairs. And one night there was a Tyson. I don't know what year this was. I just remember being a kid. So I must have been pretty young. And she invited all the crew upstairs and everybody was watching the Tyson fight. And it was a whole big deal. We had food and everybody had the popcorn. We were sitting in front of the TV. And I was just like, wow, they're going to fight. That's the first person that really brought me into boxing was Mike Tyson. Watching him as a kid, I was like, wow. I was just enamored, to see this, big, he looked like an old man to me. He couldn't have been older than like 19, 20 at that time. 20, 21, no older than that. And I was just this little kid watching this like, wow, who is this grown man? Oh, he's going to beat him up. So that's the first fight that I recall from my memory. Let's see. Demo says, how you win without throwing punches? What you talking about? Oh, you talking about Madrimal? Is that what you mean? Demo? How you win without throwing punches? Facts. There was a lot of feinting. A lot of feinting. He landed, you know what I'm saying? He landed some ones, but I think the feint was the predominant, tactic in that particular fight for Madrimov. Freedom's March said, I ain't mad if you gave the edge to Crawford. Yeah. A lot of people had it as a toss-up. Either way, I'm not mad. Of course, I would edge it to Crawford because he's just the better overall fighter. But I understand, like I said, why people would have given it to Madrimov because it was unforeseeable. The fact that, Crawford could be given a challenge the way that he was posed a challenge, in those initial rounds from Madrimov. Hey, Jay the man. What's up, boo? She says Sugar Free is live. Yes, she is. My first live ever, you guys. First live ever. And it won't be the last, God willing. It won't be the last one. The Keji says Tyson was my first fight too. Look at that. Yeah. Tyson is the GOAT. Definitely one of the GOATs. Yep. So let's see. I definitely didn't intend for this to be a super long live, but there was some things I wanted to brush on. So for 2025, I'm also looking very deeply at Boots. Oh my God, you guys. Boots Ennis. I'm kind of shaking my head a little bit because there's so much that I have, you know, in my heart that I want to see from Boots Ennis. Boots is an absolute phenomenal talent, as we all know. But I think 2024 posed some seemingly good opportunities. Of course, when we got the news that he was signing to Matchroom, I was kind of like half-hearted about it, but happy because, of course, I was just happy that he had moved away from the turbulence that he was, kind of finding himself within, of course, with his previous promotional company and all the tumultuous lawsuit battles that he was going, into with that previous company and everything that was happening behind the scenes. So that when he signed with Eddie Hearn, I was quite hopeful that that would mean an end to the storm, an end to the turbulence, and stuff like that. But, of course, as time went on, it only took a few months, right? It's like within months of signing to Eddie Hearn, here goes all of this, tumult. It's like the very thing that I was thinking he was going to be escaping, he seemed to walk right into upon signing with Eddie Hearn. How crazy is that? So I don't know, you guys. Eddie Hearn, I'm kind of shaking my head at Eddie Hearn, and I'm like, yo, why is it? And a few people in the comment section, some of you are probably here. I believe Freedom's March was one of them, that left on, some videos of mine that's saying, yo, Eddie Hearn kind of seems to have a nasty pattern of slighting the black fighters, American black fighters. What is going on here? And of course, I did the video on Android. I'm not sure if you guys peeped that the other day, but that was, an exemplary example, of an American black fighter under the Eddie Hearn banner that was sidelined. You know what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson being given Joe goddamn Cordina upon his first fight of signing with Matchroom. The fuck? How wild is that? Not Shakur Stevenson. You know what I mean? He's not a pay-per-view star yet per se, but we already, the world knows Shakur Stevenson. The boxing world knows Shakur Stevenson. The fuck you doing giving him a goddamn Joe Cordina? Wouldn't the position be that when you sign him, one of the biggest names in, the 135 division, wouldn't you try to schmooze Shakur Stevenson by signing him and giving him a guaranteed first huge fight? Maybe Lomachenko wasn't available. I don't know. I don't know what was going on behind the scenes. You know what I mean? But he should have gotten a champ. That's for sure. You know what I mean? Or at least somebody top 5 within the 135 division, because Joe Cordina was a goddamn 130 pounder. I don't know if he had moved up to 135 at that time or if he was still technically 130, but Joe Cordina, either goddamn way you slice this, wasn't it. Either way you slice it, it wasn't it. So I don't know what's going on with Eddie Hearn and American black male fighters. But Boots Ennis is in a precarious position because for whatever reason that Brian Norman fight didn't materialize. As of course, as many of you may know, as discussed on several platforms and stuff like that, we've been talking about this stuff. So I don't know what's in store. I hope to see that Brian Norman fight materialize in 25. That's for sure. I would like to see that fight for Boots Ennis. I really would. Yes, indeed. I want to see Boots and Brian Norman. That's a fight that has to materialize. Let's see what we got in the chat. At least Boots staying active. That's what the Keji says. Yeah, at least he's staying active. So that Karen rematch, I guess, he got it out of the way. It is what it is with that. So, and he did the job. He got the victory. That's really all I can ask for. And he had a pretty dominant performance, even though, of course, he got to work on his defense and stuff like that and all the things that we could kind of nitpick with that particular performance of his. I think he was still dominant. He got the job done. So it's good that he was active, like you said. But, I want to see, this is 2025 projections as far as my hopes. I want to see a unification for Boots Ennis. You know what I mean? And I get the whole Virgil Ortiz thing. Oh, well, he ducked Virgil, and stuff like that. Y'all already know my perspective on that. I did a commentary on that. I just felt like, if his initial goal was to become undisputed at 47, let the man do that. Let the man do that. Let him clean his plate. If Brian Norman is on the table, let him get Brian Norman. If whatever other champions at 47 is on the table, let him do that. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Virgil Ortiz is not bigger than goddamn Undisputed. Fighting Virgil Ortiz is not going to mean a motherfucking thing when he's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame in the future. You think they're going to be saying, oh, he fought Virgil Ortiz? Or do you think that Boots, a part of Boots' accomplishments, is going to be an undisputed champion? I think people was wilding with that notion. You know, they was just thirsty to see, oh, well, can he beat Virgil? Can he beat Virgil? But, you know, the name of the game is also legacy. Let the man create a path for himself. That's what he been said he wanted. It's not new. It's not nothing new that he said he wanted undisputed at 47. He's been saying that for years. When Bud and EJ was still at 47, he been saying that I was a part of his goal. So it ain't nothing new. Let the man work. Let the man work. And when it's time to go to 54, he'll do that. Let's see. Oh, my sister. Hey, big sis Chiquila. My girl. What's up, beautiful sister? What's up? That's my beautiful sister. Chiquila in the building. Oh, my goodness. Snoopy Mac. What's up? Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year, everybody. Yeah, so I want to see that Boots, you know, I want to see him get in line with that Norman. That's a fabulous fight for him at 135. You know, they already have that history. That fight was being so close to being materialized. You know what I mean? They didn't want to give the extra push to Norman for whatever reason. Eddie Hearn was on some sassy time. You know what I mean? And for whatever reason, Boots, I guess, took his direction and said, you know, they'll bypass it. Or as BFTB shared with us that, you know, allegedly Karen was already in the works and couldn't be bypassed. I'm not sure what the deal was. I don't really have the insight as far as the behind the scenes. But, you know, now that Karen, like I said, is out of the way, it'll be beautiful to see the King Boots, Ennis, and B. Norman get active with each other. That's for sure. Two beautiful brothers. And you know what else I want to hear and see in 2025? I want to see, you know what I mean, a lot more dialogue of our people. I'm talking about us because, you know, everything I do and say is for and about us. I want to see us repping our people and no longer tolerating this stupid narrative that I don't know who put out and who pushed that, you know, 2 black fighters don't sell. What type of time are we on, y'all? I don't want to hear that shit. Oh my God, champ side. Hold up. The man, the myth, and the legend. Yes, indeed. Salute to the beautiful King champ side. Yes, indeed. Salute to you, King. Happy to see you. Yeah. So I don't want to hear no more narratives, you know, about, hey, and you're using the emojis. Let's go. My custom emojis. Oh yeah, you guys, make sure you guys become members. I'd love to see you guys as members. That's really where I would do, this is a brief intermission, you guys, to promote my membership. If you guys have not joined, please go to my page and hit the join tab to become a member. If I do live streams, that's who I would cater my live stream to. I just wanted to do this initial live stream just to kind of say hello to everybody and welcome everyone in, of course, and make it available to everyone. But the live stream portion, I intended to really have it for members only. For members only. Not that, you know, it's impossible for me to do, you know, ones where everyone can see, but they will be few and far between. I had the idea at least to keep the lives for my members. You know what I mean? So hit the membership, you guys, if you haven't. I'd love to have you. I'd love to see you, you know, all join and stuff like that. And I intended to rock live, you know, for the real ones who joined. So something to keep in mind if you guys are interested. But yeah, I don't want to hear no more damn narratives about black fighters don't sell. We got Boots and Brian Norman. That's a beautiful possibility. You know what I mean? We got goddamn Jamel Charlo and Bud. a possibility. Okay? We got EJ and the Bud rematch, a beautiful possibility. I don't want to hear, the best and biggest fights in boxing are black men against their brothers. Tank and Shakur? Tell me that's not the biggest fight in boxing. I don't want to hear no more narratives about black fighters don't sell. That's another reason why I push these brothers to go head to head and collide and sharpen swords with each other. Because we got to shut this shit down. Black people have always been the standard in boxing and always will be, so long as that there is a boxing. We run this. We've been running this. Our name, our blood, our legacy is all over this. There is no boxing without our greats contributing to the story and creating the standard. So that's another reason why I push the brothers hard, because that's what I want to see. I want to see us getting it in, So yeah, Boots, whatever he has in store, I hope that he pushes forward. I want to see him actually grab the strap off the waist of a champion, because I know that that's something that he wants to do as well. I heard him say it when he did the interview. I think it was, what's that channel's name? YM, something like that. When he was clearing up the whole Virgil Ortiz debacle, he shared, the fact that, I want to actually feel what it's like to take the strap off the waist of a champ. Like, I want that. So, and I want that for him. So, Brian Norman is a champion. Brian Norman, he puts the work in. He's a really dope fighter. It's a beautiful fight that I would love to see. So, hopefully he can make that happen in 25. What's some other fights y'all want to see in 25? Hey, Cameron. Oh, my goodness, my sisters. My sisters done showed up for you, girl. Hey, Cameron, beautiful sis. How you doing? Oh, my God. Y'all got your girl feeling special over here. Y'all got your girl Mars happy over here. Oh, my goodness. Yes, indeed. Beautiful to see you guys. Beautiful to see y'all. Let's see what the chat is saying. Pay-per-view model gotta come to an end, though, or at least do what Turkey is doing and make it under $30. Yeah, I feel you, Keji. That would be interesting, right? That the standard for pay-per-views be something like $30. Wow. Imagine that. No more $80 fights. It'll definitely make it more accessible, that's for sure. A lot more people will be, of course, interested, at an affordable price, so that'll be interesting to see. Even though I get the mystification surrounded by the higher price, because it brings a sense of exclusivity, I guess, that people are familiar with. Like, oh, it's exclusive. That's why I'm paying more money for it. Therefore, it's a better value because it's expensive. You know how people do. People are weird like that. They'd run to pay $1,000 for something that they can get the same thing for, for a certain price, but they would devalue it because it's of a lower price. But yeah, I'm with that. I definitely get that. Yeah, Freedom's March, YSM. That was the channel that Boots was on, exactly. Spence Fondora, that's what you want to see, Keji? Yes, indeed. I'm definitely anticipating the Spence Fondora fight for sure. Devin versus Hitchin. Y'all, yes. Y'all got some names that I wrote down, actually. So you guys are touching on a lot of the same points that I wanted to make. So speaking of Devin, since you brought up Devin, King J, what do you guys want to see from Devin in 2025? Okay. For me, I want to see, finally, Teofimo versus Devin. I want to see that fight. The problem is, Teo is a goddamn puss. Excuse my language. Like, if that man could just stop shaking in his boots for half a goddamn second and actually get some damn cojones for once in his damn life, maybe we could actually get this fight materialized, you guys. Can I get this fight? Damn. Somebody need to give T.O. some therapy. Somebody need to go to his house and hire a professional pep talker to kind of give him some courage and boost his courage. Because as far as Devin Haney is concerned, he wants absolutely no smoke with Devin. How many years has this been ducking Devin? Since what, 2017, 2018? I mean, Jesus. Can we get this fight? Is this something that I'm always going to be sitting, with my hands crossed, mad about forever? I need this fight to materialize. Devin Haney versus Teofimo. You already know Devin is with it. Ain't no problems on his side. He ready. He been ready. He was ready since he was 20 goddamn years old. And he ready now as a grown man. It's the damn Teofimo that's wilding out. Talk about, give me $10 million. Give me $20 million if you want me to fight Devin Haney. Excuse me? Did you get fucking, you know what I'm saying? This shit is wild. Did they give him goddamn $20 million to fight Claggett? Miss me with the bullshit. I'm tired of this, y'all. T.O. was another one that these people be letting off the hook way too easy, outside of the real ones, of course. The real ones know what time it is. But, the larger context of the boxing world, they let that man go too easily. That man is a whole puss. And he's not called out, as severely as he should be for the duckery of Devin Haney. He just don't want he fought the Kambosos. He lost to the Kambosos. Okay, he beat the Lomachenko. That's a wonderful accomplishment. But that's the first time, real talk, I heard a goddamn Teofimo like that. I wasn't rocking with T.O. I wasn't looking for T.O. He beat Loma. And that's really when he got on the map for me. Prior to that, who was he fighting? What was he doing? And he could have got the rematch. He didn't call for the smoke with Kambosos after he lost that time. He didn't even want the rematch with Kambosos. So it's like, come on, son. And I can't say that I'm questioning T.O.'s overall heart as a fighter, because I do think that he possesses some skill. But he is just not, he's all bravado, real talk. It's like, all right, you do all that talking. You want to act like you the takeover. What the fuck you taking over when you taking cover? His name is Take Cover, not Take Over. This nigga ducking all the smoke, that's coming his way from Devin. Call this motherfucker Take Cover. That's his name. Because he takes cover from the smoke. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. I'm tired of that type of nonsense in boxing. You can't be talking all this talking. You're not, ready to go on the front lines. You got to be willing to step when it's time to. Show and prove. Who cares? You cannot be precious about stuff like that. When it's time to work, you got to go to work. You know what I mean? You gotta face it. You gotta do it. What else are you in the gym for if you're not sharpening your steel to go clash with other elites? It's crazy out here. I'm tired of that. Let's see what the chat is saying. Freedom's March said, just like Core didn't make nearly as much to fight De Los Santos. Thank you, as he would have fighting Devin for 25%. 1,000%. 1,000%. King Freedom. The Keji says, I'm a Devin supporter. He's everything good about boxing, but I saw some faults against Ryan that I would worry about his success at 47. Very interesting notion, Keji. And you know what? I think that's a healthy analysis because, we saw what we saw. We didn't see, I guess, the best, most proficient game plan from Devin Haney in that Ryan fight because he chose to go kind of toe-to-toe and forward with a puncher and stuff like that and everything that we've been analyzing over the past, how long has it been? I want to say 9 months or so since that fight commenced. So yes, game plan wise, yes, there were things that were questionable and stuff like that we want to see him tighten up when he makes his return to the ring, which I'm sure that he's been doing. And it's going to be, interesting to see what he has sharpened up. It's going to be interesting to see, to what degree he has learned his lesson from that Ryan Garcia fight. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? I anticipate seeing, a more sharpened, a more alert, a more mature Devin Haney enter that ring whenever he does come back. So I agree with you. I agree with you there, Keji. Let's see what the chat is saying. Oh, Snoopy. Snoopy says Cambo was a cherry pick going wrong for T.O. T.O. is a lip wrestler. Not a lip wrestler. Jesus. Not the wrestling of the lips. Facts. Because he sure does a lot of talking. That's for sure. Somebody need to put a muzzle on that man. King Freedom says Devin fighting as he should washes Ryan. You ain't never lied, King Freedom. That's right. Devin with a smart game plan, with him sticking to that beautiful boxing that he does. What? He annihilates Ryan Garcia. Annihilates that man. 1000%. Hit King. Hey, Hit King. Salute. He says, I think for Devin, it's a lesson learned. Can't see him losing the same way. Yeah, I definitely agree with you, King. Definitely agree with you. I think somebody earlier mentioned Hitchens and Devin. I think that's a good fight. You know what I'm saying? Hitchens is, he sticks to a, more of a pure boxing style. That'll be interesting to see. I think Devin puts that man to bed. B-E-D. You know what I mean? But it is definitely a good matchup for Devin. Of course, Hitchinson just had, his recent win and stuff like that. He's a champ. So, yeah, it'll be good to grab a strap for sure. I got a question. When Devin comes back, because he is definitely a champ in recess, does he come back with a belt? Because he can't just take the belt from Puello, that WBC belt, right? So the belt doesn't come to him when he returns to fight, right? So he would have to reclaim the belt again the hard way, right? He won't just be allotted the belt upon his return. Am I mistaken? I wonder about that. I haven't really researched how that goes, the champ in recess, subject, or how that works when the champ does make his return. Very interesting. I think that Catterall is available to fight. Hitchens, okay. Is he gonna fight Sandor Martin? I think Sandor Martin is, on the top 5 for the WBC, right? Sandor Martin. Interesting stuff. So he definitely has options, Devin Haney. He definitely has options. I wonder who's going to be willing to step up to the plate. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said about Boo Boo in the commentary that I did the other day. He was made to, literally look vulnerable against Benavidez because he lost. But with Devin Haney, of course, it was a no contest. But he still kind of has the, allure or the assumption of vulnerability, because of the outcome of that fight. So you would think that would mean that people would be lining up around the block to call Devin out, but that's not the case. That's not the case. Why isn't the 140 division on fire? Talk about Devin Haney. I want to fight him. Ryan supposedly got him out of there. I can too. Ain't nobody calling for smoke with Devin. Ain't that interesting? A lot of people want to say that he's food, but ain't nobody lining up with their plates. So obviously he's not that much of easy work. You know what I mean? That's going to be interesting to see how Devin makes his return. You know what? And speaking of Devin, also real quick, the Ryan rematch, I'm just not interested in that rematch, as y'all probably know, because I've spoken extensively about it over the, past few months. I don't give a damn about that Ryan rematch. First of all, I'm not giving Ryan a goddamn thing called a payday. Nothing close to a payday will he be getting if I was Devin Haney. You know what I mean? I'd be getting a payday from Ryan because I'm in court suing his ass for cheating and the whole debacle that surrounded that whole event. But as far as giving him a payday, that's a luxury. That's a reward. I'm not going to reinforce the fuckery. I'm not going to reinforce you by giving you a payday because you already know that the rematch will probably be even a more bigger fight than the first fight, that rematch. Imagine that, you guys. You know that rematch. If Devin and Ryan rematch, that fight will probably be bigger than the initial fight because people are going to be like, oh, is Ryan going to be able to do it again? Is he going to cheat? Is Devin healed? Is he mentally scarred? Is he going to wither in front of Ryan Garcia? Is he going to have flashbacks of the left hook? You know all the nonsense people have been saying. But overall, people have questions and they would line up by the droves to see it. So I wouldn't give him the luxury, of eating off of that. That fight will probably be way bigger than the Tank fight because of the anticipation and the questions and the scandal surrounding the whole thing, But at the same time, I know that, Devin is a real one and he already posited, over the time that that's something that he would be interested in. In fact, Bill Haney was already, on social media saying, listen, we will take the fight as long as you drug test, for a prolonged period of time, that we can monitor leading up to a possible fight, then yes, we'd be interested. But of course, the coward that Ryan Garcia is, he didn't want to take or sign up for the drug testing. Bill said that he was offering to pay for the drug testing. So it wasn't even going to be an expense that he would have to, take on or he would have to pocket. It was going to be taken care of by DHP. Ryan was still denying, that drug testing. So I don't know what's going on with that. Not a fight that I want, but of course, Devin Haney is one of my favorite fighters. So whatever direction he goes in, I'm riding. Let's see. As far as 54, you guys, 54 is the thickest division in boxing. So I already know that you guys have your picks and your matches of who you want to see for 2025 at the 54-pound division. Of course, we're awaiting EJ's return against Fundora. What do you guys think about EJ's return? Who do you guys think is EJ's new trainer? Does anybody in here think that he's still with Derek James or that they could reconcile? Do you think that's a possibility that EJ would be able to reconcile with D James? I don't know. Either way, I'm interested in seeing who he trusts to go to battle beside him. I cannot wait to see who is going to be his war general. Who is going to be the mastermind of the game plan? You know what I mean? That's going to be so interesting to see of EJ. What y'all think? Let me see the chat. Yes, Freedom's March. The sanctioning bodies need to make testing mandatory for every fight in their rankings and pay for it. Thank you. I've been hollering that for I don't know how long. They don't want to pay for it. They pocket these 3%, things for these champions, but they don't want to pay for the tests to get done. Or mandate for the championship fights. Make it an absolute, thing that this must take place. I think it's across boxing, not just for the championship fights, but across boxing. And did you hear Tevin Farmer, say that he wasn't even tested with Zepeda and he got no testing results from Zepeda? It's sickening. And that was a title fight, right? So it's like even their own guidelines they aren't abiding by. Because the championship fights are allegedly, supposed to be, have the testing set up. And according to Farmer, that wasn't the case. It's nasty work. The Keji says EJ will knock out Fundora. Take that to the bizank. I feel you and I concur. Yes, indeed. I definitely believe that as well. Bud needs to rematch Madrimov. You want to see a rematch of that, King Freedom? That's interesting. I haven't thought about that. That hasn't even crossed my mind. A rematch with Madrimov and Bud. That was kind of a wham bam thank you ma'am fight for me. I didn't anticipate seeing it again after the job was done. That's interesting though. Very interesting. I wonder if the public would be interested in that. That's a possibility, I guess. But I think 54 is so thick that he doesn't even need to look twice at Madrimov. You know how many goddamn killers at 54? Jesus. That damn 154-pound division is replete with killers and monsters. Everywhere you turn, it's a goddamn monster. It's like Halloween up at 154. Bunch of mass goddamn murderers everywhere you turn. So I think that Bud, really has his hands full. He got Madrimov out of there. It's so many other savages whose heads he can claim, if he's about that. You said EJ should fight Tim Tszyu. That's interesting. That's interesting for sure. And that's a fight that I was initially interested in, of course, before the Tim Tszyu outcome of his last fight. You know what I'm saying? That's a fight, upon hearing EJ, making the official move to 54, Tim Tszyu was definitely on the list. So that could still be a good fight. That could still be a good fight. Even though Tim Tszyu lost kind of devastatingly, it's like, it is what it is. Doesn't mean that they can't come back. We'll see. We'll see how that works. But I guess all of that is kind of waiting on the back of what EJ will look like against Fundora. And of course, if that fight actually does materialize. But yeah, Tim Tszyu, that could be an interesting fight for EJ, for sure. Either way you toss it up, 54 is, full to the brim of talent. So you can mix and match the 54 division all day and come up with some remarkable matchups. That's for sure. Chiquilla says, TL does not want to fight Dev. Absolute facts, queen. He's just scared to death. He's scared to death of Devin. He wants no smoke with Devin at all. It's sad. It's a sad spectacle to see, but that man just wants no parts whatsoever of Devin Haney. The savage, the intelligent one said 154 can be the new 147 in 2025 for me. Oh yeah, it's already that for me. You know what I mean? 147 is the golden division for me. You're absolutely correct. 154 is absolutely that. I'll tell you one thing, 135 ain't. It ain't the golden division right now. It ain't been since Devin left, real talk. Devin kind of left a huge vacancy upon his departure of that division. So, yeah, 54 is thick. We got Jamel Charlo. What do you guys think about Charlo coming back? Beautiful King Charlo. I want to see him return. Of course, he alluded across his social media not too long ago, only a few weeks ago, that, what did he say? What was his exact words? The vacation is over. Something like that. So, yeah, he alluded to, a return, which would be fabulous. Do you think that he's going to try to claim Bud's head? Because, of course, they got that little bit of history there now. It'll be wonderful to see Jamel Charlo versus Bud. What? The Iron Man? I would love to see Bud versus Charlo. 1,000%. 1,000%. That's a huge fight for boxing. Speaking of Bud, though, and this 54 division, I do have a question. Now that, of course, Bud has officially moved up to 54, of course, and he already claimed his space by solidifying, his first strap at 54, do you think that that's all he had his eyes set on doing is, becoming a champion at 54? Because, of course, allegedly, his next fight is supposed to be Canelo, according to the rumors. But do you think that he's trying to just cash out with Canelo and then hit the road after? What do you think is in store for Bud Crawford in 54? Do you think he's going to stay at 54 after fighting Canelo if that fight is real? Do you think that man is going to move up to whatever goddamn division? What is that, 168? You know what I mean? 2 goddamn divisions to come back down 2 divisions to clean out 54? What do you guys think? This is a big, big question. Big question that I have for Bud Crawford and the 54-pound division. I don't know what his intentions are. Just like I was saying about Shakur Stevenson earlier and his intentions for 35. And the same thing for Tank Davis. Same thing stands for Bud. What is his intention for the 154-pound division? If you're going to be jumping up 2 weight classes to fight a Canelo, Are you going to, come back down and, you know what I'm saying? Do you intend to be undisputed? See, the difference with Jermell Charlo, because Jermell Charlo, of course, did it, but Jermell Charlo was undisputed. He cleaned his plate. And then he took the risk to go attempt, a fight with Canelo. He already did his business. So, I can understand that perspective. I can't say that's a fight that I totally agreed with. You know what I mean? Of course, I was going to support the King Charlo, but I can't say that was a fight that I was relishing. He did it and I supported it or whatever. But, he already became undisputed. He did the job before making such an attempt. Bud just got goddamn to 54 yesterday. And he's already talking about going up 2 weight classes to fight a Canelo. He ain't do shit at 54. Am I tripping? Am I tripping or no? Am I the only one who kind of, passed over this thought? Did anybody else surmise this? I just find that interesting. You just got to 54. So does that mean that you don't really have your heart set on cleaning out the division of 54? I think that's a good question for us to be asking. I'm not sure if anybody else, had thought about that. Freedom said, I think he fights Cinnamon and retires. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Hey, Michael Ray, the king, the great Mike, as I call him. What's up, great Mike? Salute, King. Intelligence says, yes, ma'am. I hope so. Charlo versus Bud. Facts. That is a crazy fight. That's a crazy fight. Jay the Man says, I still want Mel versus Bud. Absolutely. Absolutely. That fight is crazy. Crazy. Kaji says, Canelo fight seems like one last payday. Yeah, see, we up the same alley then, you guys. Because it doesn't make sense. Like I said, at least Charlo already did the business. He already put his Mac down at 54. And then he, attempted to ride with the big dog Canelo. But, it just doesn't make sense. I can't say that I particularly like that fight. That's not a fight that I care about. When I think about Bud Crawford, I don't think about goddamn Canelo. I don't give a damn about Canelo. Real talk. I don't think about Canelo, period. So, of course, I'm not going to think about him when it comes to Bud. When I think about Bud, the first thing that comes to mind is the King EJ, the shark, the biggest one. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Second thing that comes to mind is all the other gunners in the division. We got Charlo. You know what I'm saying? We got Lubin. I'd love to see Bud versus a Lubin. Come on, y'all. It's some killers over there, some dogs over there. I don't think about, Canelo thinking about Bud. I think about all the crazy, generals in the division, in his division that he could fight. That would make some fantastic matchups. Virgil, we could even say Virgil, because Bud and Virgil have that history, that long history or whatever, where people have been wanting them to fight. So, that smoke is still on the table. I think it's some excellent fights for Bud. I think it's, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that it didn't come off as a payday move so that he could retire, just like you beautiful brothers were mentioning. I agree with you guys wholeheartedly on that, for sure. The King Freedom says, I have the same thoughts, SugarFreeMars. Facts. My sister Shaquila says, has to fight for it. Word. The King Eric O says, I agree. Yes, indeed. MXE, am I saying that right? Or is it Mo? Virgil versus Charles Conwell. Oh, damn. Yes, you hit the spot. You hit the spot on that one. That damn Conwell? Oh, Lord have mercy. That'll be a great fight for any one of them at 54. Conwell versus anybody and everybody will be a fantastic matchup. That division is so thick, y'all. It's not even funny. Yes, King Eric O. King Eric O says Conwell versus everybody. Real talk. Real talk. Oh, shit. The Keji done said Baccaram? I forgot about Baccaram. Jeez. Hit King says Earl versus Lubin. Damn. Would love to see it. Because, Lubin is going to be on that smoke time. You know what I mean? Lubin looked great against Fondora. You know what I'm saying? Before he got the, the beats put on him, you know what I'm saying? Of course, but, in those later rounds. But the heart was on display. He was still coming. He was still coming. It didn't look like that man looked like that episode of Martin when he was all lumped up. Man didn't give a damn. He was still trying to put Fundora to sleep, and he was about to as well. If he just had a few more seconds and a little bit more gas, he'd have got Fundora out of there. Yes, so Earl versus Lubin will be fantastic. I like Lubin. He got heart. Big heart. 154 is full of heart. That's the heart division. That's the heart division in boxing right now. 1,000%. Oh, he said, yes, it's Mo Queen. All right, Mo. Salute, King Mo. Yes, Bakaram. You were on point with that one. I forgot about him. Bakaram is lit. Lit. The king, the intelligent one says, plus moving up and coming back down for fights don't work out much for the one moving up and down normally. Exactly. It doesn't look good. We saw what happened to Roy. You know what I'm saying? That happened to Roy, you know, the moving up and then the coming, you know what I'm saying? It's not easy. And that's two weight divisions. That's just not up a division and then back down to your division. That's two goddamn weight classes. So it's going to be interesting to see, what Bud, intends to do. But right now it's looking like a peace out to me. It's looking like, all right, y'all, let me get this goddamn, bag full of money real quick before I make my exit. So it's going to be interesting to see what's on Bud's periphery because, I would like to see him before he leaves the game, of course, rematch. If he doesn't do anything else in his career before he leaves after this alleged fight with Canelo, the one thing that I would want to see Bud do before he retires is rematch Earl at 54. That's just the fight. There's so many fights to be made, but if I had one, like if somebody said, listen, you only have one, and the purple genie came out of the bottle and gave me one wish for Bud before he retires, that's what I would say. I would say, listen, genie, where the fuck you come from? You kind of weird, but let me make this wish. And I would wish to fight. I would wish to see the Errol Spence rematch. That's for sure. That would be my wish. The Keji says, we just need our boxers to start getting active again in 2025. Charlo, Thurman, Gary Russell. Yes. Some been missing for years. Exactly. And same thing for Big Charlo as well. Big Charlo, I want to see him back in the groove. I want to see Big Charlo back in the groove as well. Both the Charlos are among my favorite fighters and have been for years. So I want to see them coming back healthy and strong and mentally fit because I know that they had their own personal, things. Of course, I don't get into the drama side of things or the gossip side of things. I don't really know too much, but of course, it's hard to escape, when something makes news. So of course I caught, the side view of what was going on allegedly with them. So hopefully they've gotten their mentalities together and have been training. I think I follow Big Charlo on Instagram. So he showed some footage on his Instagram page and has been for some time now, of him back in the ring and stuff like that, or at least, training or doing some training of some sort. So that was good to see. He's getting in shape or staying in shape, I guess. Did you guys hear that he was supposed to be on the Tank card, this Lamont Roach card or whatever, at a particular time? I don't think that's still the case because, of course, an undercard hasn't even been announced with that fight. I don't know how they could have had two press conferences, the Tank Davis and Lamont Roach fight, but no undercard was mentioned. So I don't know what's going on, if Charlo would be a part of that or what. But either way, I'm anticipating a return of both of the King Charlos for sure, because they are among my favorite fighters. T9's boxing class, salute to you. He says, I hope EJ comes back with Blu-ray. Oh my God, so many people have been saying that. You're correct. I agree. Blu-ray, we got to see the highlight reels of Earl, the most notable performances of Earl. Many of them were with the King Blu-ray. So I know a lot of people have been calling, for them to reunite. I'm not sure what incited the departure between them, but I've seen Blu-ray on a lot of platforms saying he would love to work with EJ, and if EJ reached out to him, he would definitely respond to the call. So, he expressed that level of availability and openness to working with EJ again. So I don't know. I don't know what had EJ reticent about reconnecting with Blu-ray. I'm not sure, but I'm definitely interested in seeing who he has on his camp for this, supposed return this year at some point, And I wonder if that's going to be a spring fight with Fundora. Do you guys think that he'll be back in the ring in the spring or later this year? EJ, I'm talking about. Y'all think it'll be something like a spring, April fight? Or do you guys think that it's more of like a November, December 25 fight? What y'all think? I'm trying to see him ASAP. Either way, I'll accept it. I'll be happy to see him in the ring, but I'm trying to see EJ ASAP. What? It's been over a year and a half. Year and a half since he fought Bud. I want to see him back ASAP. What y'all think? Let's see what the chat's saying. The Intelligent Savage says facts. Both Charlos is a must back in the ring. Putting that work. Yes, putting in that work. My sister Chiquila says EJ will be ready. I have no doubt about that. I have no doubt about that. When he steps correct. He's proven that time and time again. So I have all faith that when he makes his return, he'll be sharp as steel. The King J Man said Fugazi fight. What fight? What fight is Fugazi? The King Keji said Breadman reported EJ was looking very sharp already. Who was Breadman? I've never heard of that. But okay, I'm glad to hear it either way. He said he was looking sharp and ready? Okay. I ain't mad at it. I hope so. I hope whatever he's doing it well. Jay the Man says, I like that move if it's true. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I'm hoping for an April fight too. I think April is perfect timing. Perfect timing. Yes, King Eric, the springtime. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. I can't wait all the way until November either, Keji. Like, what? That would drive me crazy. I'd be going through withdrawals. I ain't waiting till no damn November. That's basically a whole goddamn another year. I'm not trying to wait that long. I need to see EJ ASAP. I need to see in what condition he's in. So that way, it'll get me excited about what else is in store for him and what other matchups can be set for him and stuff. I think Fundora is a good competitor, but I just think that EJ is going to, I'm trusting what I know of EJ. I just know EJ to be that dog, that shark, that killer. So, I'm anticipating him bringing that warrior spirit that I know him for. And it's the same warrior spirit that he had against Bud. He just didn't, manage to come out with that victory on that particular day. You know what I'm saying? And he just managed to kind of have to go through his turbulence and face the challenge of Bud, who was on point and lit and everything else, in addition to whatever other challenges he was dealing with at that particular time on a personal level, on a health level. But he still brought that warrior spirit, to the ring against Bud. So that's what I'm expecting to see. I don't think that he will, falter any less just because it's Fundora, who's a tall man, a lengthy man and stuff like that. I think he's still going to show up like, yo, I'm stepping. Like he always say, I'm stepping. When I'm coming, I'm stepping when I'm coming. So that's what I expect to see of EJ. Jay the Man says EJ deserves the rest. Yeah, he deserved the rest, and he seemed to have plenty of it. He seemed to have plenty of rest. We saw him vacationing, all of this time since that fight and stuff like that. So hopefully he is well rested. He was spending time with his wife, beautiful children. You know what I'm saying? He showed us pictures of him, as he always does, on his ranch. So it looks like he was definitely taking in the stillness and enjoying it. So hopefully, his mind is at ease. Hopefully his body is repaired because, of course, there was alleged injuries that he had faced. We heard the possibility of a rib injury going into that Bud fight. So hopefully he's well rested and recovered for sure. I hope he's nice and healthy. And, of course, hopefully mentally, he's ironclad as well. Because it's not easy dealing with the criticism that he had dealt with, coming off of that fight. He never faced the level of criticism, and castigation the way he faced coming off of that defeat to Bud. Not to say that people weren't talking shit about, people talk shit about everybody that's on top. especially if they're exposed and they're out there claiming space and claiming territory and stuff like that. So he's no stranger to criticism, but to the level and the capacity and the degree that he faced, the castigation, the berating from people across social media after that Bud fight was unprecedented for him and unparalleled. A lot of criticism he got. So he took it like a soldier, just like he took that L against Bud like a soldier. I'm thinking that he took the criticism like a G. Of course, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. A lot of that was probably hard on him. But for him to step back in the ring and say, listen, I'm on smoke time and I'm coming for a champion, after everybody been talking all this stuff about him, says a lot about his character. That's why EJ is one of my top fighters, period, ever. One of the best fighters of this era. His heart is not a lot of people walking around with that size heart. I'm telling you, it's levels to this, and EJ displays that. He displayed warriorship and kingship in victory, and he exhibited the same thing in defeat, because not only was he defeated, but the way in which he was defeated, that would make oh my God, that would make a giant shrink and shrivel. I know it's easy for us to kind of sit back on the sidelines as spectators or whatever, but we don't know to the capacity that these men get up on the stage and show the level of valor to the world on the world stage. Even before exiting that ring with Bud, he was still saying the blood was still on that man's lip and on his face, and his face was swollen. And even while still in the ring, he was like, yeah, I want to get it back. That's a level of heart that many men don't understand. I'm telling y'all. Built different. So EJ will always have my respect for that. Always. There's some real warriors out here who really do this, and EJ is one of them for sure. Let's see what, oh my God, salute Michael Ray. Michael Ray became a member of Down to Mars. Let's go, Mike. I appreciate you, King. I really do. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Salute. The Intelligent One says, facts on hoping to see EJ earlier this year. Yeah, I think it's pretty much general consensus from a lot of us here that, we want to see EJ back. Sometime in the spring would be preferable, for sure. All that Fundora body work will be easy work for. Yeah, exactly, Keji. Because we already know that EJ is a technician, on that body. All right, that man comes to chop trees. He don't play no games. He's the demolition man. That man breaks you down inch by inch like chopping a tree. So I think Fundora is just a huge target to receive all that nasty body work that we know EJ for. It's going to be fantastic to see. Fantastic to see. And Fundora doesn't really, exhibit a high level of defense. So I don't know what he's going to do with EJ's pressure, real talk, now that I think about it. Like when I break the fight down in my head, I'm like, damn, what's he going to do to defend against the onslaught of EJ? It's going to be interesting to see. My beautiful sis Chiquila says, Bud fans still believe Bud beat him so bad. He had no injuries from that fight. EJ had no injuries? Bud fans still believe Bud beat him so bad. He had no injuries from that. Oh, are you saying that they think that he beat him and there was no injuries. He just beat him fair and square. Yeah. And to some capacity, that's true. He definitely beat him fair and square. But like we know, beautiful sis, two things can be true at one time. But yeah, a lot of the delusional Bud fans want to, assume that that's true. Oh my goodness, my sister Shawa, you guys. Hey, my sis. Yes, indeed, the Queen Shawa is in the building. I'm so happy to see you, beautiful sis. Thank you. Thank you for coming, my love. Yeah, so anything else? What other things did you guys have in store, or at least that you would want to see? What are you anticipating in 2025? What's your number one, or I'd say your three, either your top 3 or top 2 fights that you absolutely want to see materialize in 2025? Doesn't matter the division. What is the fight or the couple of fights that you really, really want to see this year? I'd love to know that. Because we got to start holding these people accountable. I don't want to see no more goddamn pussyfooting. Okay? Let's hold these people accountable. I'm not babying you anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, oh, well, you know, they said no, they don't want to fight him. That's why he's not fighting anybody. Or, oh, you know, he sold this amount of pay-per-views. That's why he's not fighting anybody. He don't have to. He already proved himself. I don't want to hear none of those goddamn soft ass, sassy ass goddamn excuses for 25. I want to see some fights. That's what I want to see. Let me know. I want to know what you guys are thinking and, you know, what your top 2 or your number 1 fight is that y'all want to see. Let me know. I'm looking in the chat. Let me know what y'all think. What's on y'all plate? What's on y'all minds as far as the must-see fights for you? If it's not just one, you could put 2. But the fight that you absolutely want to see happen this year. The fight that you're saying, listen, I'm not waiting until 2026, 27 to see this. I want to see this now. What's that fight for you guys? Let me check the chat. The Queen Sister Shaquila says, people also need to know that the rematch didn't happen because it wouldn't have been 147. Oh, because it would have been 147 and not 54. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because they were bickering about that at that particular time. You know, Bud was saying, oh, no, if we have it, it has to be at 47. Yeah. Yeah, at that particular time, it was kind of up in the air about where that rematch would take place. Which was weird because EJ, before he got out of the ring, was saying, let's do it again at 54. So I don't even know why that was a mess at that time, man. A big mess. My beautiful sister Cameron says Shakur and Tank or Shakur and Keyshawn. Woo! That's a banger. Definitely among my list as well. The Shakur and Tank fight for sure. And I was saying, beautiful sis, I'm not sure if you were here at the beginning portion of the live, but, you know, that whole Shakur and Keyshawn, if Keyshawn grabbed this strap off of Baronchick, you know what I mean? Is Shakur going to turn down the option to unify because it's Keyshawn? Are you going to turn down unification just because it's Keyshawn? Or are you going to go get your food? Are you going to play with your food? Or are you going to clean your plate? That's my question for Shakur Stevenson as far as that's concerned. But yeah, I'd like to see him fight Keyshawn, especially if Keyshawn grabs a strap in this upcoming, you know, supposed fight against Baronchick. The King Eric O says Canelo versus David. Ciao. That's almost like asking to meet Santa Claus in real life at this point. That shit feels like a whole fantasy at this point. But yes, that's a huge fight. That's a huge fight. That would be crazy to get that fight in 2025. Canelo versus David. T9's boxing class, salute. He says Tank versus Shakur, Devin versus Tio, and Boots versus Norman. Listen, T9, we speak the same language, King. I agree with those. I would love to see all 3 of those. The King Vonnie, salute, beloved. He says Devin versus Tank. That's the fight. That's the fight in all of boxing, in my view, King. That is the fight. If there was one fight in boxing, that's the fight that I would want to make. Devin versus Tank. Absolutely. So you are on point with that. My beautiful sis says Canelo versus Day up 1,000%. 1,000%. Even though Canelo's ducking that man and has made no bones about it, that's still a fight that boxing fans are calling for. Because it doesn't make sense to not happen. It doesn't make sense. My beautiful sister Shawa said Devin versus Tio and Tank versus Shakur. 1,000. 1,000%. The beautiful queen Chiquila says Keyshawn and Tank. Ooh. You want to see Keyshawn versus Tank? That's going to be a hell of a collision. Because we already know who Tank Davis is. Okay? And Keyshawn has proven, especially with this recent performance, that, he doesn't intend on backing down from the smoke. He intends on bringing the smoke and dealing with the smoke head on. So that's a collision that I would love to see materialize at some point. And I think all of this is predicated on, like I said, him, grabbing the strap from Baranchik. I think that will put him in line to, of course, stand in front of Tank and say, listen, I'm a champ. You can't duck me. You can't call me a little boy. You can't call me, a novice or anything like that. I got a belt. What's up? What's popping? And I like that type of time. So Keyshawn has a lot to claim. The question is if Tank is going to, Tank been avoiding every goddamn champion in his division. So is he going to bypass Keyshawn and fight another 130 pounder? Like, are we going to see the repeat of the same goddamn thing? So that's an interesting fight that I would like to see, but we'll see what happens, especially if Tank talk about retiring this year, allegedly. I don't know what's going on with that man. The King Mike says, we probably will never get Tank versus any of these guys we want to see. Exactly. My sentiments exactly. The Intelligent One says social media boxing must end and some real damn fighting amongst these professional fighters must damn happen now in 2025. Well said. Well said. I agree. I could not agree more. My sister Cameron says, he will say, that's my brother. I can't fight him. You already know. You already know the excuses, beautiful queen. Okay? The excuses he probably got them shits written down and memorized the excuses that he'll make. I'm sick of that man. Shawa said definitely Boots versus B. Yes, I spoke about that earlier. Barrios or Stanionis. That's right. It's time for him to get these champs. It's time for him to get these champs. If he want to be undisputed at 47, eat your food. And hopefully that damn Eddie Hearn, don't stand in the way of making that happen. Because we touched on that earlier, his relationship to the stifling of Black American fighters. So I got my eye on Mr. Eddie Hearn. I really do. And I rocked with Eddie Hearn at a particular point some years ago, but I don't like the way he's doing the American brothers. I really don't. He got a lot of evidence pointing to the contrary, that he supports Black American fighters. It's looking weird out here. Hopefully Boots and Bozy, strong arm him and take the wheel of the ship to direct it, properly so that he can get these fights lined up and achieve the goal he sets out to do at 47. Because, of course, we want to ultimately see him move up. That's why people were so anxious for him to go fight Virgil, because they weren't seeing the action taking place for him at 47. That's probably why people were so gung-ho and anxious to say, okay, well, go fight Virgil at 54 because, Virgil's a good fighter, of course, but, we know that 54 is replete with talent as well. So I understand the notion of why people were so hasty about him going to 54, and just leaving the nonsense behind. 1000%. The Intelligent One says, any of these trilogies between Tank, Devin, and Core to begin works for me. Exactly. Damn it. Tank, I'm putting it on you now, dog. Exactly. It's in his hands. It's always been in his hands, real talk. He just hasn't been making the move. He hasn't been moving the chess pieces. He been playing checkers on a chessboard. Looking ass. He need to get this fire lit under his tail and stop talking retirement. But it's like, if you talking retirement, like I was saying in my previous commentaries, if you talking retirement, leave now. Go handle that. You know what I mean? You want to wake up at 12 p.m. with your wife in bed and roll around in the sheets with your kids and watch TV? That's fine. Go do that. But get out the way of the killers that's really, trying to get this working. The Queen Shawa says, we can never put stock in Eddie. Real talk. Real talk. He's looking shaky, sis. He's looking shaky. The beautiful sister Shawa also says, see, I didn't want him to fight Virgil without getting acclimated for. Thank you. Virgil needs to see Charles. Right. That's another reason why I wasn't so gung-ho about him. You know what I mean? going to 54, against Virgil in his first fight. Because like I was saying earlier, I don't think you came in on that part, beautiful sister Shawa, but Bud had a questionable debut at 54 to a lot of people is what I'm saying. A lot of people were in speculation about Bud's performance at 54. David Morel had a shaky performance at his debut at 175. Same thing with David Benavidez. So it's like, obviously, the going up that one division, albeit 5 pounds, it is still, your first fight at that particular weight. So things are bound to be shaky, which is why, it'll be best for Boots if he were to do that, to get acclimated at 54 before taking on Virgil, of course, because Virgil has been at that weight class for some time. So he doesn't need the adjustment period or anything like that. So I definitely agree. The great King Mike said, I saw someone earlier today say Wilder was fighting Ngannou in the spring. What? If that's true, I got Deontay. Are you serious? King Mike? That's interesting. Wilder versus Ngannou. Wow. That'll be interesting. Real talk. The first thing that came to mind is like, if Wilder returns to the ring, I'd rather it be, if he intends to stay boxing, I'd rather him fight a boxer. You know what I'm saying? Because I want him to sharpen his sword properly if he intends to really fight, and contend with other fighters. I don't think Ngannou is going to sharpen his sword. But we'll see what happens. That's definitely interesting. Bean Pro, peace to you, King, for becoming a member. The Down to Mars crew. Yes, indeed. I'm happy to have you. Blessings to you. Definitely, y'all, if you guys are interested, check out my page and hit that join button if you guys want to become a member. I'm thinking that, of course, it's still in the works for me because this is only my first live, but I'm thinking that I will be doing lives for my members only, or I may go live, but most of my lives will be focused and centered specifically for the members. So if you guys are interested, definitely hit the join tab and check out my little perks for my members if you guys are interested. But thank you, Bean Pro. Happy to have you. Thank you, Cameron Fields and Chiquila and the King Champ side for becoming members. I appreciate you, King Mike, as well. Salute to all of y'all. I appreciate you guys. Let's see these comments. The beautiful sister Shawa says, D was supposed to fight him first in Africa. Yes, I heard about that, actually. Yeah, you're right. And then Fury stole the fight. Okay, yes. Yes, I do recall hearing that. I just think at this particular juncture, if Wilder returns to the ring, I want to see him. I don't know, actually. At this point, I don't know what weight I would want to place on Wilder because, firstly, I don't know where his heart is. And secondly, I think that he's proven. I mean, the fight that I would still want to see, of course, is the fight that always mattered to me in the heavyweight division, which was him versus Anthony Joshua. What? That was the heavyweight fight for me, period. Okay? So if that fight, is not something that can be materialized, or let's say if he is kind of half-hearted in a weird position, as far as boxing, then the Ngannou fight makes sense. You know what I'm saying? He can get paid buku bucks and also, fight somebody, like Ngannou, of stature, of recognition and notoriety and stuff like that in the MMA. It's entertaining and he can make a good amount of money, But I don't know where to place Deontay Wilder as far as like, future fights, I'm waiting on him to tell me. When he tells me, I'll know where to put my weight. He already solidified his place to me. If he never did anything again, he goes down as one of my favorite heavyweights, period, of this era, of this time, because of what he's done for boxing, because the way he represented our people, because, how unapologetic he was, because of the heart that he displayed. You know what I mean? So he already proved his point, but it's going to be interesting to see if he intends to do a little bit more before calling it quits, of course. So I'm down for it either way. I can't say I'm mad at it. I can't say I'm mad at it. The Keji says Turkey said he wanted Wilder and Ganu. Oh, okay. Y'all putting me on then because I haven't come across that. So that's interesting. AJ will never fight Wilder. Yeah, man. Yeah. I can't. I mean, you can let a girl dream, you know. That fight should have happened, real talk, 5, 6 years ago. Um, so it definitely doesn't have the luster that it once had for me, you know. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me dreaming off of the wave of the anticipation that I've had for that fight over the past several years. I don't know if it'll really prove anything if it's had now, real talk. So if it didn't happen, I totally understand why. Um, but yeah, I'm just dreaming out loud, I guess. Speaking of Turkey, what do you guys think about? Do you guys think that Turkey should give Demetrius Andrade a shot on a Riyadh season card? Do you think Andrade has something to offer the boxing world still? I know I did a commentary about him the other day. I'm not sure if y'all peeped that, but I wanted to know your thoughts about that, about Andrade, because Andrade always gets kind of mystified and kind of like clouded and swept under the rug. Do you think that he can be given a shot to have some redemption if he aligned with Turkey? He said in a recent interview that he's not signed with anybody right now, but that he would be interested in working with Turkey. What do you guys think? I definitely love to know y'all thoughts on that. Yes, Keji. Yes, you already know. He said Sugar is down with AJ. My boy Dubois. Yes, he did break my heart, Keji. Yes, thank you for putting me on damn blast. What? Why you gotta expose your girl Mars like that, Kej? Huh? Yes, AJ is my man. I rocks with AJ and I have ever since 2019. And still to this day, I rocks with the King AJ. He's definitely one of my AJ and Wilder. There is nobody that mattered to me in heavyweight but those two men. So yes, Dubois definitely broke my heart. But I salute Dubois because he did what he came to do. I don't got no beef with Dubois. He did what he came to do. Yeah, so this is boxing. This is what we do. This is what we do. Shawa said, it's okay to dream. Exactly, sis. Exactly. The Great King Mike says Turkey should put Andrade on if he's looking for smoke. Thank you. My thoughts exactly, King Mike. Yeah, I think it's like, why not? Why not put him on? You know what I mean? Who the hell did Turkey put on? A bunch of goddamn, nobodies from Britain. Nobody that we would know, at least. So it's like, okay, well, why wouldn't you extend an opportunity to Andrade if, they were to get aligned somehow? Put Andrade on the card. Andrade, he want the smoke. He always wanted the smoke. Ain't nothing changed because he lost to one man. Benavidez is not just a man. He's a real one out here. So to lose to him, it's like, all right, I lost to him. And what? What's next? I'd love to see some opportunities extended to Andrade to make money. I think he's been stifled for way too long. It's about time for him to really, get some fights made with the best names that he can because if anybody has had the ability to align Andrade with some top names like Caleb Plant or even David Benavidez, Morel, whichever one of them. I'm sorry, not David Benavidez, Morel, if Morel were, to be on the table, you know what I mean? Turkey would be the best man to do that because Turkey is about, the, most significant matchups possible. So if Eddie couldn't do it, Turkey sure enough can. Because the politics don't really concern him, the way that it would, a typical promoter. The sister Shawa said, I know Sugar and Karma love AJ. Yes, indeed. Team AJ. Team AJ. I mean, but, there's my gunners. This is how I go for my gunners, my kings. I go 10 toes. I don't have step, Sister Shawa. You know me, sis. I'm gonna go hard for my kings. Yes, I support the kings. AJ is one of them. All of the kings. EJ, AJ, you go down the list. Devin, I don't play with my fighters, baby. If I'm rocking, I'm stepping. I go to bat for my fighters. The intelligent one says Boo Boo versus Charlo. Ooh! That fight is way over goddamn due. He needs to fight one of these damn Charlos already. He needs to fight one of these Charlos. And you know what? Have you seen him? And I'm not sure if you've seen his Instagram, but he posted some footage not too long ago. I want to say within the last month or two, something like that. Boo Boo and Andrade were like going somewhere together or whatever. That's when it was first speculated that Charlo would be possibly on that Tank Lamont Roach card. And that Boo Boo was also a possibility. And in some footage it was shown of Boo Boo and Charlo walking together and chilling and stuff like that. So, you know, obviously they have some type of relationship. I'm not sure what the holdup would be. Maybe that probably is on the business side of things, of course, because Boo Boo isn't necessarily signed. I don't know how that works. But yes, Charlo, any of the Charlos would be a great fight to see Boo Boo against. The King Mike says, I still think that Andrade and Jamal can fight. Me too. Exactly. Maul and Boo Boo is a fantastic fight. Fantastic fight. Yep. Yes, King Eric. Oh, facts. Exactly. Exactly. The King Keji says, that's why it should be. Mm-hmm. Eric O says, AJ gonna be all right. Thank you, Eric. Thank you. He's gonna be just fine. Okay. Let him go sharpen up his tools. Let him go rework his little, game plan. And, he'll be back. He ain't mentioned retiring. So as long as he in it, I'm in it too. As long as any of my fighters are in it, I'm in it. When they say they done, that's when I tip my hat to them and let them go on about their business and, pursue their peace with their family and stuff like that in the afterlife of boxing. But so long as they, on that battlefield, baby, I'm the one sharpening their sword for them. That's the type of supporter I am. I'm like, give me your sword. Is it sharp enough, King? Let me sharpen this for you. Here you go. Go chop this nigga's head off. That's how I get down. Oh my goodness, the King Drew, my big brother Drew in the building. Hey, King. Happy New Year to King Drew. Happy to see you. Yes, y'all. Anybody else have any other fights? Yeah, I mean, everything that you guys listed, I definitely concur with all of the analyses that you have, all the, fantasy matchups and the, pending matchups, the Tank versus Core, the Core versus Keyshawn, you know what I'm saying? The Bakaram in the mix with Boots and the, you know what I'm saying? All of these fights are wonderful. And I hope that we really do edge closer to these fights, because the last thing that I would want to see for this new, boxing cycle is a repeat, of the devastating lackluster energy that we saw in 24. Hopefully we get some fighters more active. I don't think fighters should be fighting less than twice a year. No more once a year. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully EJ, and that's particularly for EJ, Tank, you know what I'm saying? All of our favorite ones, all of our ones, I want to see them more active. No more once a year. It's a detriment, to their performances if they are out of the ring for so long of a time. I don't want to see that, repeated in 25. That's for sure. Let's see what the chat is saying. Yes, you guys. Yep. Yes, Keji. Maul definitely has so much talent as well. And he's still unbeaten. Exactly. Nobody dethroned the Charlos. You can say Canelo, whatever, but, Charlo was not in his division. Nobody defeated Charlo at 54. So he is, to me, undefeated, because 154 is where he reigns. He doesn't reign at 168. 168 was an optional fight. You know what I'm saying? That was ad hoc. That wasn't anything, definite to me. You know what I'm saying? That was an optional fight that he took on, his plate to try to go and venture out into. But as far as the 54 division, nobody has dethroned Mel Charlo. So you're absolutely right, King Keji. So when he makes his comeback, that stands to be seen. Can he still, claim that space like, yo, this is my division. Y'all in my house. Because that's certainly what I would like to see. I want to see Mel against everybody. 100%. And Maul is undefeated as well. And I can't wait to see what business he takes care of at 68. The Charlos are them boys. You know what I'm saying? They had their little personal issues, and a lot of people, let's say over the years, didn't necessarily like their personality or like their brashness, but the men handled business. That's one thing that they've always done throughout their career and that they're known for. They put that work in. I can't wait to see them on Demon Time, renewed and mature and refreshed for the 2025 year. Yes, Keji, at least twice a year they should be fighting these fighters. It's too much. The lagging is way too much. Yes, the active boxer is a dangerous boxer. 1,000%. 1,000%. The Queen Shawa says, me and the husband were arguing the Mel situation this morning. Really? What was the debate about? About what specifically? Like, if he is going to come back in what condition is he going to come back in? Was it about his opponents that he should fight? Which I was talking about, sis. Jay the Man says Charlos were great for boxing. Weren't they? Weren't they? Damn. It's been so stale without the Charlos. Without EJ. You know what I'm saying? It's been weird. It's been weird. A little bit silent. Devin pretty much had to hold the whole of the boxing world on his shoulders. I'd say Devin, Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? I'd say Bud did a pretty good job as well, I guess, because he rode the hell out of his victory over EJ. Man done had a parade. He done been on a CBS Good Morning. He was on goddamn One Life to Live, so proper. The man showed up in goddamn McDonald's commercials. Where else did you see Bud? Bud was goddamn, doing ads for all types of commercials. There was nowhere you could turn and to see Bud, getting his little 15 minutes of fame on. He got on a Kendrick Lamar song, shout out from Kendrick. Bud was everywhere. He made the best of his victory and his newfound fame. Oh my God, that shit is hilarious. That man banked. He banked and capitalized completely on that victory off of EJ. That man was in the Mr. Clean commercial. Ooh, child. Bud was everywhere, baby. Bud said, listen, I got this victory over the king. Y'all gonna respect me. Y'all gonna call me the goddamn king. Bud was on a goddamn, he replaced Ain't Your Mama on a pancake box. We couldn't stop seeing goddamn Bud. Y'all remember that? That shit was fucking funny. I was like, okay, Bud. Shit. I ain't mad at you, player. God damn. Ooh. But yeah, I would love to see, what Bud, is going to do in 2025. I think that's a big question that everybody's interested in. Outside of the Canelo thing, like I said, I don't care about the Canelo fight. I want to see what else he's going to do, and if he intends, to really claim dominance and supremacy at 154. Yep. Joe Rogan, exactly. He was on Joe Rogan. Lord have mercy. Did he do a goddamn Oprah interview? I think Oprah's the only goddamn thing Bud was missing. Jesus. Not the Old Spice. King Freedom said he was on the Old Spice commercial. Facts. Damn. He made a killing. Oh, the sister Chiquila said, and EJ is still the bigger name. Exactly, as far as drawing power, 1,000%, because you can best believe that when he makes his return against Fundora, it's going to make a statement in viewership. That's for sure. That's for sure. Trust and believe that defeat didn't do anything to quell or abate the interest in Errol Spence Jr. That's for sure. In fact, probably even more people are going to turn up than normal, because everybody's going to be interested in seeing in what condition the King EJ is going to return up in. And if we're going to see, glimpses of the King and the killer and the shark that we know. Oh, yeah. No doubt about that, Queen Chiquila. Definitely still the bigger name. Definitely. The drawing power has not been diminished at all. Yep. The King Mike says Bud need to be a man of his word and rematch EJ. You speaking a proverb, King Mike. Yes, indeed. I definitely want to see that fight. The King J Man says Nebraska football team was at its best when he was in the sidelines with them. Damn. Wow. The Intelligent Savage says, man, I wish Tony Super Bad Harrison was still in this thing collecting turkey bags. Yes, I love Tony Harrison, yo. That the Charlo, fight, both of them, the press conferences were the most legendary press conferences of this era. There is no press conference that trumps, of the past 5 years, the Charlo and Tony Harrison press conferences. What? That's some of the funniest, most comical, most lit interactions I've heard between fighters. Yo, that thing had me in stitches. I was crying so hard watching that shit. I was laughing. My stomach was hurting. Oh my God, the animosity between those two men was just too much for me. I could not stop laughing. I love that exchange between them. I like when it's real. Like, I like when the angst is real. Like, you know what I mean? I like when they get in their bag and they start talking their shit. I really like that. And Tony, oh my God, that man should have won an award for the shit he was saying to Charlo. I love that energy. And Charlo was on smoke time. He couldn't wait to prove him wrong in that rematch. Like, yeah, they cheated me out. I'm going to show you. I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to prove it to you that I'm better than you. And he did. He wound up proving it. And I think it ultimately brought a respect between them, after that second fight. You know what I mean? Because even Charlo had admitted, yeah, he's a funny dude. He a funny dude. So I like that. Snacks B, salute King. Happy New Year to you. Thank you for joining. I'm happy to see you. Yes, Shawa, Tony is not no punk. Far from it, Queen. Far from it. I wonder what he's doing. I think he's doing, he's been doing a lot more, training now. He didn't make any official announcements about a return or if he had, decided to retire. He hasn't made any specific announcements, but yeah, shout out to Tony. He definitely gave me some fantastic memories, in that Charlo fight. Wonderful. Jay the Man says classic fight, 100%. Hitman Hearns was at the press conferences too, I think. Was he? Yeah, Hearns be showing up to a few of the, he be showing up at the fights and the press conferences, which is legendary. I don't know how I would feel as a fighter to see. Hearns is one of my favorite fighters to ever walk this earth. Okay? So what an honor, that he would show up to that press conference or to the fights, whatever fights he shows up at. He is definitely one of my GOATs, hands down. The Hitman. Yes. Yeah. Yes, Shawa. He told Mel not to date Ninja. Yes, he did. He was tired of him. I loved it. Yes, you guys. So I think that's all that I had. I was not even anticipating, that I would be on live for more than 30 minutes. And you guys showed up for me. And, I felt really comfortable talking to you guys. It's my first live. I have to thank everybody for showing up and making me feel comfortable as I figured this whole live thing out. It's definitely been fun, and I definitely want to do more because, as I said earlier on, it's something that I was asked for a little bit of time. I think one of the most notable people is the Keji. The Keji is who I remember, and a few other people like, when are you going to go live? When are you going to go live? So I took the advice, and of course I took the encouragement from, the people that I respect behind the scenes, like the King Champ side, who give me constant encouragement, who said, yeah, you can do this if you want, and kind of showed me the ropes and how to get it done, which I'm very appreciative of. So I have to thank Champside for his support, and of course all of you, the Queen Shawa, Cameron for becoming a member, Michael Ray for becoming a member, Bean Pro, you know what I'm saying? My sister Chiquila, I appreciate you guys so much. And for anybody else interested in becoming a member, like I said a few times, I think earlier, just go to my page, hit the join page, become a member, see the perks that you get. Like I said, if I intend to do lives more consistently, it'll be for my members only. But I can't say that I won't ever, do general lives as well, because of course I want to, talk to, the people wherever you are. So I'd love to connect with y'all, but definitely some perks for the members, only exclusive to my members. So that'll be wonderful for you guys to check out. Happy New Year to everybody. First of all, we connect a lot of the times. A lot of you I've met on either BF's channel or Champside's channel, because those are the two men who gave me a voice for boxing. Those are the two men that I have. I've been rocking with Champside for, I can't even tell you how long, maybe about 7 years. But I only called into his show last year. And it was upon calling to his show that I kind of found a voice and was inspired. And then somehow, I don't even know how I found BFTB, but once I found him, I didn't let go. I was entranced, by his brashness, how he be cursing motherfuckers out, by his extensive boxing knowledge. I was just enthralled with BFTB and with Champside. So they really gravitated towards my type of energy. And it's because of that I was inspired to, add my own perspective and my own discourse on boxing, because I saw these two beautiful brothers doing it in a way that was funny and entertaining and informative all at the same time. So salute to those two kings. But yeah, the fact that I have a little platform to do this now, and the fact that I met so many of you here today on those platforms, lets me know that I wasn't far off in the energy that I was getting, because I managed to attract all of you by way of those two men. So I'm thankful to all of you. And yeah, I hope that 2025 is a positive year for all of you, personally, spiritually, mentally, financially, you know what I'm saying? Family, all of that. I'm wishing you all prosperity. I'm wishing you all love, good health for you and your loved ones. And yeah, I think that's it for me. Let's see some final thoughts from the chat. Thank you, Shawa. She said, proud of you. Keep cooking. Thank you, beautiful sister. You a natural. Thank you, King Mike. Oh my God. I appreciate that. I can tell you how nervous I was before I started this live stream. I was like, oh my God, maybe I shouldn't do it. I appreciate the support. Thank you, beautiful Queen Chiquila. Awesome show. Awesome chat. Yes, the chat was litty tonight. My people are in here. That's why. Can you expect anything less? We got you in here, Goddess Chiquila. Of course it's going to be a lit chat. Yes, Intelligent Savage. Full facts. Salute BFTB. Yes, BFTB. The king, the beautiful King BFTB. And the beautiful King Champside. Let's see. The King Freedom. About to get a membership. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. And who knows? Maybe I'll even pop up on camera. Who knows? Maybe I'll get comfortable enough to do that. Let's see here. Oh, the King Drew. Thank you, beautiful brother. That's my big brother, the Drew. He says, so proud of every queen in the realm of boxing. That's right. That's right. Got to highlight the sisters' voices. Bring some balance to the table. Complementarity to the table. Yep. Let's see here. King Snack says, when I first heard BFTB, I thought he was Star from Star and Buck. The way he cursed people out. Oh my God. It's that heat. It's that passion. I'm a very fiery person. So it was nothing for me to gravitate toward BF. Same thing with Druth. Druth is fiery. Druth is smooth with it. You know what I mean? He'll call you a monkey in the most smoothest way possible. You know what I mean? I love it. These are the brothers that, I look to and that, obviously have made a lane for themselves. So I respect the beautiful brothers, the whole LDBC, of course, 7-8, Drew. I'm not familiar with everybody in the LDBC because I gravitate towards 7-8, Drew, BF, and Stormy. Those are my ones for the LDBC. But of course, if the LDBC can produce those four beautiful brothers, then that must mean that the whole crew is full of upright, beautiful brothers. So I respect the LDBC always. For sure. And they about our people, which you already know what time I'm on with that. If I see you about us, I'm about you. Freedom's March, beautiful King Freedom says, you, Sugar, you are amazing and you do amazing things in the space. Thank you, King. I appreciate that. I really do. The Keji says you were made to be on camera. You're photogenic. Thank you. Thank you. I did a lot of actually, I'm actually used to the camera on the photography side. So it's going to be interesting to, dive into being on camera as a talking platform. I'm not used to that, On the musical side, yes, I am. But as far as like me, having discourse on camera, I have to get used to that for sure. Yes. All right, y'all. So I think that's it for me. I hope to see you soon. Once again, Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed my first show, my first live show. Like I said, this will definitely not be the last time. I'm praying for everybody's health and longevity and prosperity this new year and every year. Okay? Love you guys. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your evening. And I will see you guys soon. Peace and love, y'all. Peace.